Hello everyone, welcome to Stamping Up with Sabrina. This is part 2 on how to make these gift boxes, okay? This is the first one I made on my own using Whisper White and the Trim the Tree Designer Series pack. And it has 2 bows tied in there because it's narrow. Then there's a 3-layer tag, which I showed you how to make when I did the tutorial using the Designer Series paper pack. This is the cherry cobbler, okay, and I have a wider ribbon here. The natural's white, which is 7/8 of an inch, so I didn't need to use 2 bows. I just have the 1 bow, and I showed you how to make this 3-layered tag, okay, and you'll need to watch that video to see it. I usually use 2 stamp sets. I used a Merry Everything, the To and the From, and the Merry Christmas. And then for the sentiment, I used Ornamental Pine, the sentiment piece. So now let's get to the third idea for making this box. For this one, I'm going to be using the Newborn King stamp set, and I'm going to be using my Whisper White stamp pad. And I've already done the stamping. I'm just going to show you how I did it. You'll have to see the first part of the tutorial on how I made this shape. This is a 12 by 12 piece of crumb cake, okay, and the scoring instructions are in the first tutorial. I went ahead and did my stamping here, but there are score lines. Maybe if I show you from the wrong side, you could see all the score lines here. So you have score lines going across here, here, and here. And then we used our Simply Score tool board, and we scored on the 6-inch line to the intersecting V here, and then continued down the 6-inch line here. Then we turned it, and we did the same here, down to the intersecting lines of the V, and then out down here. So this square that is in the center is the bottom of the box, okay? So you can see here, so let me make some room here. You can see here that this is the bottom of the box, and so what I did is I inked my stamp, and then I positioned it so that it was right on the score line, okay, all the way around, and then re-inked, stamped, re-inked, stamped, re-inked, and stamped, okay? Then I took the star and I added that along there. You can use any stamp set that you want. It'd be Christmas, for Christmas things. If you're doing this box for other occasions, you can use whatever stamp sets you want to stamp a pattern on your box. Just keep in mind the direction your pattern is going, because this is the bottom here, so you want everything to be read from that direction. Now the next thing we're going to do is, once your ink is dried, is you're going to go ahead and you're going to fold all the score lines, okay? So we're going to go do that right now. And even though I made a box using the Designer Series paper pack, because it has double-sided and it's nice to have that different pattern on the inside, this box is still a little easier to make using cardstock. The next thing is we have those little score lines that go into these intersecting score lines here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to fold those. Now if you want to, you can keep those just the way they are. I like to trim mine because I think these little flaps inside get in the way. You can put them together and then you know, you can put some adhesive in here and then some adhesive on one of the sides and then put it in that way. But then you have this funny ugly thing there. So I like to cut most of it away. But if you want to be able to reuse the box, to flatten it for storage, then the box would look something like this. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I trim mine now that it's all folded. You're going to take your craft scissors, and what you want to do is on the same side all the way around, we're going to cut from this part here down to that score line there. So we're just going to cut down to that score line. And then on this side of the box, we are going to cut along the score line all the way down to the bottom of the box. And then here we're going to cut on that score line that goes to that. So it will look like this, okay, when you cut it out. So we're going to do that all the way around. And you can always keep these pieces for punching tags or decorative parts for your box if you want. So that's what it's going to look like. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a sticky strip on all these tabs. Okay, so now we have our sticky strip on those tabs. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to decide which looks the best for the front of your box, because when you stamp there's always one that looks better than the others, and I think that's going to be this one here. So that will be the front and this will be the back. So we're going to be punching a 1/4 inch hole in the top on the front and back part of our box here. Oops, that wasn't centered very well. Okay, so front and back. So now we can go ahead and we can take the backing off of our sticky strip and put our box together. So now you're just going to line up the edges of your box. Okay, and then you want to just kind of curve those pieces here a bit. So there we have our box. So the next thing you would be doing would be making your tag, and that I showed you in part 1, where we have this 3-layered tag. Okay, we have a greeting, a sentiment, and to and from. And you can layer whatever colors you like. And I don't have, my cherry cobbler ribbon has been on back order for a long time, since October. So I'm going to use some other ribbon that I have here, and because it's a narrow ribbon, I'm going to do the same thing that I did here, and I'm going to put 2 pieces in. Okay, if you're using a thicker ribbon or a wider ribbon, you can get away with just 1 piece. And you need about, close to 2 feet. The narrower the ribbon, the less you need. So I'm just going to cut 2 pieces here. And I'm going to put them in together at the same time, but we'll be tying them separately. So a trick to get them in the holes is to roll the end at an angle so you get a point. Okay. before we can tie it, we have to put our tag on. So when you've assembled your tag, you're going to, about an inch up, you're going to make a knot. It's a little bit more than an inch, but that's fine. And then you are going to put that through just one of the ribbon strands. Okay, and we're going to be tying them separately. So you have to kind of figure out, that one goes here, that one goes there, which goes with which one. And then your second one. And then when I do this, I like to make the tails about the same length as the loops of the bow. And there we have our box. Okay, so now we have the 3 different versions. The ones where we stamped, okay, the one where we used designer series paper on the cardstock, and then the one made entirely out of designer series paper. Okay, this is a little more fragile. You don't want to put anything heavy in that one. So thank you so much for joining me. It was a lot of fun making these with you, and I hope that you'll be inspired to make your own. Bye for now. Till next time.